The other portion of it, which I personally love, is working with the single mothers, the women who are trying to get homes for the very first time or for the second time, rebuilding credit, things like that. And that's one of the reasons why I know that you and I fit together. Good afternoon, good morning, hello today. This is T.R. McCarthy, aka TR the Loan Guy, aka the Mortgage GOAT, mortgage broker for Sceptre Mortgage. How you doing today? Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to one of the most energetic real estate agents that I personally know. She is full of passion, she is full of conviction, and she will get the job done for you if you will allow her to do her job. Please help me welcome Miss Kenya Hughes.
Hello. How are you? Man,
How are you
I love
doing?
that intro. I can take that intro any day.
Well, again, you deserve that intro. You are a ball of firecrackers
Thank
waiting to
you.
explode. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you for being on the show, the Zoom Room with your host T.R. McCarthy. Man, I just can't wait to get you on the show so we can talk about a few things. And
Yeah.
first of all, I'm going to basically say, why real estate?
Ooh.
Why did you decide to go into real estate?
Mhm. That's such a good question. From the time I was a child, I grew up in Jersey. And I grew up at this time where there was this show. Some of y'all may know it, some of y'all won't. It may age me a bit, but it was called MTV Cribs. This show, I love this show. It was a show that came on MTV at the time, and celebrities or those who were rich, they would take you on a walkthrough of their home. And so MTV would bring cameras and they would tour the entire home. I would sit for hours watching that show. So I've always had an interest in real estate. I've always had an interest in housing. Back in 2015, there was a show that I used to watch a lot with my husband, and that's where I really started piquing my interest a little bit more. At the time, I had a 1 year old, and I was thinking, like I really love real estate. Like I was working for a bank at the time. I was working as a bank teller, a lead teller, and I was just like, kind of over it. Overworking for somebody, waking up to be somewhere at a certain time. And so I really started to toss around the idea of getting into real estate. What does that look like? What would it be like for my family? Could I even do it? Right. And so I took a few months, started researching. Around that time, I had a job offer come available for California. And so I decided to take it. And at that time, I had enrolled in school. I knew California was such a great market. So I enrolled in school and started my journey to becoming a realtor.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a great story. That is a great journey. And yes, I do remember MTV Cribs. I have a lot of memories of MTV Cribs. My favorite
Man.
one is, I believe, when they showed, what was it? It was either Method Man or Red Man's house, and he
Yeah.
had nothing in it. It was just a house.
He was,
It was
yeah.
just a
Yeah,
house.
I bet he was house
I
poor.
loved it.
That's what we call house poor. There was
I
nothing in
loved it.
there, but listen, it was a grand
Nothing in it.
home. It was a
It was a
grand
nice
home.
house. No furniture. I said, did he smoke the furniture or did he just don't have the furniture? Which one is it?
Yes.
But
Oh my
yes,
goodness. I love
yes.
that. I love that.
I loved it too. That was hilarious. So, all right, man. So, so back. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. All right. So, tell the people, what are you currently working on?
Yeah. So, at the moment, one of the things, the reason why we wanted to connect on this podcast is because, I I'm grateful to say I was elected president-elect. So I would be president for the Women's Council of Realtors in the year of 2024. So I like to say that I'm in my training year. I am in the year where I'm learning a lot more about our California real estate politics, about legislation, about the changes that we want to see. I'm diving into fair housing. What does it look like for us to have fair housing across the board? What changes do we need to make, and how can we begin making those changes? So when you ask me, what am I working on practically, I'm working on reaching that hand back to those single moms. My brokerage that I'm a part of, it was started by a single mother, and she has a true passion for single moms. And so within that, a portion of all of our proceeds goes towards funding housing for single moms, bringing back housing, affordable housing for them, helping to get them back into the workforce, back into the job force, getting them back on their feet. And so reaching that hand back, starting with them, starting with people who typically hear, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you to get you into a home, or this isn't the right time for you. I like to say there's not a no, it's just a not right now. And I am that agent that walks with every single one of my clients through the not right now stages so that they're ready. And we knock on every single door until we get that yes. And not just any yes, but a yes that can work for my client, that works for their budget, that works for their pockets. And so with that, I have found that there's a lot of challenges that come with that. I'm sure many people know it's similar when it comes to leasing. You still have to go through this process, and banks or lenders, they still need to decide, hey, are you too much of a risk factor for me? And so one of the things that I like to dive into is, what exactly is a risk factor for you? Is it the color of my skin that's a risk factor? Is it how deep my pockets are that's a risk factor? Is it my credit score that's the risk factor? What is the risk factor that you are using to determine whether or not you want to help me secure a home? And so I like to just work with my clients and seeing, hey, what risk factors are there? What risk factors do we need to work on? And then, what's this next step and next stage to get you to your ultimate goal of home ownership and financial freedom and generational wealth building? And a big part of that brought me here in Washington. So I'm actually talking to you from Washington, D.C. We had a huge National Association of Realtors, or you'll hear me call it NAR. We had a huge conference this week that focused on, fair housing, that focused across the board on what we need to do to kind of move that needle, what changes are happening at the state levels, also the federal levels, right, that are going to impact our housing, especially in California. We are such a unique state, and we pioneer so many things. We're one of those states where if something is happening in California, 9 times out of 10, it's going to start happening in other states. And so I like to stay on top of that. I like to know what's going on and be in the know so that I can prepare my clients as best as possible.
First of all, that was a lot. I love it. So first off,
Oh,
congratulations on
thank
your
you.
appointment. I mean, I am extremely happy for you.
Thank you so
If you
much.
don't notice, I'm doing backflips in my seat right now. I'm just not trying to hurt myself, okay? I'm just not trying to hurt myself. However, I'm so proud of you. You actually answered the next question I'm going to ask you, because I know you was out of state. I know you was in the nation's capital, but all of the things that you're working on, when I talk to agents, and I talk to agents all over the place, a lot of the things that you're talking about right now and you're trying to help facilitate, they have those same questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have those questions, and I appreciate it. And I'm happy that you're out there working on them.
Listen, I'm trying. I'm
Okay?
trying.
Now, the other portion of it, which I personally love, is working with the single mothers, the women who are trying to get homes for the very first time or for the second time, rebuilding credit, things like that. And that's one of the reasons why I know that you and I fit together on these situations,
Yeah.
because we have so many programs available, especially here in California. First time home buyer programs, down payment assistance programs, whether you're talking about Cal HFA or Cal HAFA, whether you're talking about Chenoa, We have so many programs that we can help them. And I say the same thing. It's never a no.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's when will it be? What's our next step?
Yep.
And as you said, you walk hand in hand with your clients. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I walked with somebody for a year and a half
Yeah.
from start to finish. We stayed in contact every month. I'm looking like, hey, are you putting your money where you're supposed to put it? Are you doing the things that you said you're going to do with the funds that you want to have available for this? So I know what it's like, and I'm here to assist in any way that I can.
Thank you. You have. You have. I mean, we got one
You're
of my
welcome.
my most challenging clients pre-approved, and we're still working with her to secure a home. But listen, I know the hard work and dedication that you put into what you do. That's why I love working with you.
Well, I totally appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So you actually answered the question. You're in DC, you're doing a lot of things, but what questions do you have for me? Or actually, I take that back. Before I ask that question, what questions are you hearing
Yeah.
from your clients in the real estate and mortgage arena?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think right now the biggest question that I'm getting from my clients, is it the right time to buy? Is this the best time to buy? Can I invest? Should I invest? Is the market going to crash? Those are kind of the three biggest questions that I get right now. And do you want to hear my answer?
I want to hear your answer.
My
I do.
answer is always the same. If it is for you, it's going to be. If it's not going to be. This market is a shifting market, but the market is always going to shift. So, baby, if you got the money in your pocket, you have the resources, and you're in position, then absolutely it's a good time to buy. And if not right now, it may be coming. Let's talk about what it looks like to get you there so that it is the right time to buy, though. It's not for everyone. It depends on your life circumstances. It depends on, what you have going on. What's your plan in the next year or two? Are you building a family? Have you even remotely thought about building a family? Are you in the early stages of doing so? There are so many different factors that can answer that question, and it has absolutely nothing to do with interest rates or the prices of homes, because if you can afford it, you can afford it. And the goal is to get you started. It's not to get you into your dream home. Your dream home is not it's the end goal, it's not the starting point. The starting point is getting you in the position to continue building. And if it's the right time for you, it doesn't matter what the interest rates or what the market is looking like. It's the right time for you because God said so.
I love it. I couldn't have said it better myself if I tried. The only thing that I tell my clients when they ask that same question, because I get that all the time, and I say the same thing all the time. If you can afford the home and it doesn't put you in harm's way, it's always a good time to buy. Like you said, the market is fluid. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go all around. But can you afford the home? Do you want the home? And are you ready to start the process of owning your own property? If those are yes answers, the time is now. If the answers are no, then maybe it's not the right time for you at the moment.
Exactly.
At the
Exactly.
moment. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Any questions that you have for me while you have me on the line?
Ooh, while I've got you on the line, I would say, well, yeah, I have one personal question, and then, of course, a
Okay.
question surrounding real estate. So I would say, on the lending or the mortgage side, and this is more personal, what do you think are the biggest challenges in getting our community in position to purchase homes? Um, and and what's that process like for you?
First of all, that is a great question. I hear a lot of questions, but that's probably one of the best questions I have been asked on one of these things here. I
Ooh.
love it. And my answer is very simple yet intricate. The simple answer is education. Our people sometimes are hard headed, and instead of listening to people who actually have the information and the heart
Yeah,
that wants to help them out,
yeah,
they'll go down, they'll talk to their cousin that's done a loan over the last 20 years in their basement. They'll go talk to their friend and say, hey, I bought a home 15 years ago, and you shouldn't have to put that. You don't need that document. The rates are way too high. All of these different things that for somebody who is not in the industry and who doesn't have the heart to help you, it amazes me the things that I go through when I'm telling you this. It amazes me because I've been in the business now 19 years. 19 years last February. This February just passed. I've been a processor. I've been an underwriter. I've been an underwriting manager. I've been a branch manager. I have been, you name it, I've done it. I've been a loan officer, mortgage broker. I've been on both sides of the equation. And so when I say something, I don't say it lightly. I don't just say, oh, willy-nilly. I really do know these things. And I'm like, this is what we have to do. Yeah. Case in point, I talked to somebody in 2019, advising to do a few different things because it wasn't, oh, let's move right now. We got to get a couple of things together. 6 months, if you do these things in 6 months, we'll be ready to get you a home. I need you to go out. I need you to get 2 small credit cards so you can build your credit up. Your FICO will shoot up in 6 months to a year. All you got to do is just buy a tank of gas and take yourself to dinner once a month. When the bill comes, pay it off. Same client comes back literally just a week ago. Did they do the things I asked them to do? No, they did not. It was a couple other things I told them. They want to buy a house, but they didn't do the 2 things. I told them to do those things and to feverishly save. Because even with down payment assistance, and let me tell you in the interwebs land, even with down payment assistance, you still have to have funds to come out of pocket 90 out of 100% of the time. There are some where you may not have to do that, but those are far and few between. Most of the time, you will still have to come out with some portion of the closing cost, if not all of the closing cost. Down payment assistance is an assistance. It's not a, I'm not doing anything, but they don't give me all this money. I'm telling you right now, 9 out of 10 times, you have to have some money in the bank. You're buying a $500,000 home. If you got to come out the pocket $12,000 for closing costs for a $500,000 home, that is a great deal.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a great deal.
It's amazing.
Stop saying, I got to come out of pocket 12 to 14 to 15,000. Yes, you do. Because if you didn't, you'd be coming out of pocket $30,000. You have to understand what it takes to purchase a home. You have to understand all the ramifications. And that's why you need people in your corner like Kenya, like myself, who will walk you through the process so you don't have to know everything at once. But as things come available, this is the process we're in now. Let me educate you on this process. These are the loan estimates. What's the key word in that?
Estimates.
Just because you say this, oh, you said this, it's an estimate. Yep. And by the time we get to closing, they should not change very much. However, but they will change. And the reason why they will change, everybody, is because you have now your hazard insurance. You decided what you're going to do. You finally decided which title company you're going to go with. Those fees vary. What if the taxes? We didn't know the taxes for that particular city or county. And when you finally get into title and escrow, they know these are what the actual title fees are going to be, and the taxes and things. Those all change as we go through the process. And that's why it's called an estimate. Anyway, did I answer that question?
Oh man, you answered that so well. I love what you touched on because it's, it's so true. I think that our communities forget because there's so much chatter. We have the internet, you can go and Google, but every situation and circumstance is different. And that is what we have to remember. Cousin Joe's situation is much different than my situation. Even if that credit score is off by 1 point, it can change things drastically between the two situations. So, I love that answer. My second question would be, where do you see the trajectory of lending going, and mortgages? What does that look like coming down the line as someone who's been in the business for as long as you have?
I appreciate it. Great question again. I see things going in one way. As you know, the mortgage cycle has gone up and down over the years. 2 years ago, they took a lot of programs away. And as we got out of that situation we had for 2 years, they start slowly implementing more programs. Right now, I am seeing more programs become available to help and assist first-time home buyers and people who've also been in there. So we're going to have more. Take a look at what happened with, let's just say, the Cal HFA Dream for All. I'm sure you've heard about that.
We blinked. It was
I'm sure
here and it was gone with the blink. We blinked and it was.
Absolutely. April 1st, it was out. April 7th, it was gone.
And it was like, what program? What program?
What program? But I believe it will come back.
Same.
I believe that they're going through the process of weeding through the files that make it and the files that don't make it. They know that they need it. This is something that people want and need. Yeah. They just got to figure out the money situation and how to implement it so that it's not such a overwhelming taxing on the system.
Absolutely.
Okay. But even with that saying, we have so many more programs from now non-traditional lending. So we have, of course, FHA, we have VA, we have conventional, which is Fannie and Freddie. We also have FHA. But we also are now beginning to have more programs for people like you and I who are self-employed borrowers. So now we can utilize not your tax returns, but what about bank statements? I can prove your income if you're a self-employed borrower by the amount of money funds that go into your business bank account or even personal account if it's coming from a business source. What about investment loans? We have so many new investment programs for people who want to get that extra property. And if you're not an investor, but you want to get a home, but you want to eventually start investing, you can start right now by getting a renovation loan to add an ADU in your backyard, an additional dwelling unit, because in California, they passed a law that says you can put an ADU in any backyard, in any city, in any county, as long as you're in California. And by doing that, you can either put your mother-in-law in the backyard, get out the house, Mom, but your grown kid, when they come back and say, Mom, how you doing, Dad? Yeah, I'm done. Or you say, you know what, I'm going to get an additional rental revenue by putting a tenant in the back, and you can now have a rental property without having the expense of owning two properties. It's really simple if you think about it and you get the information that's available to you. Let us walk you through it. And these programs are here. Yeah. Are they going to stay? I don't know. They come and go. But right now, we have them.
Listen, yep.
Right now, we have them, right?
Absolutely.
And if you do these things, we can help you get into the house that you want.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that touch on the programs. I think it's so important that people realize these programs come and go, but it doesn't mean that there's only one program that fits for them. And it's so important that, me as an agent, but consumers, that you guys reach out to TR, you talk to him about what programs are available, because we see these basic programs that come up on TV or that we may hear in passing, but there are so many other programs that may be a better fit for you that you don't realize. Sometimes I'll have clients come to me and say, hey, I want this specific loan. And TR, you're so great at saying, hey, I know you want this loan, but have you considered this one, or have you looked at this one? This one may fit things a little bit better for your situation and circumstances. So I love that you kind of have that foresight in seeing, hey, these things are cyclical. The program itself, the name may change, but there's a program that works for you that may come. And again, that plays on that, hey, even if it's not today, it may just be a not right now, and something else is coming that will work for you. So thank you so much for that wisdom, TR.
No, I truly appreciate that, and I appreciate you understanding the thought process and the amount of information and energy that I put into what I do.
Absolutely.
I really try to work our clients.
Yeah.
And help them get to where they want to go.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
All right. Anything else before we close?
No, Nothing else for me. Actually, yes, if I can, just because
All
you
right, what is it?
briefly
Yes.
touched on investing.
All right.
If you are in the Los Angeles area, Women's Council of Realtors Los Angeles on June 20th, I should have checked that, 18th, 20th, I will triple check for you and get the information to TR. But we have Rosanna Garcia. She is coming to talk to the entire Women's Council, our entire network, about investing 101. So if you are an agent, it's a great way for you to get into investing, figuring out how to get started. If you are someone who is interested in house hacking, or if you want to know about purchasing your first investment property, or even, the first property for yourself where you can also get some income, touches on those ADUs, this is a great class to be in. So I will definitely get information over to you, but look out for that. It's coming up in June. It's a great class to get some great information and some one-on-one info on investing and how to get started.
Can you use a male like myself in the women's conference to help with financing?
Absolutely. We love our males. Okay. We have
All right.
0.5% males, but we love on them. We love on them so well.
I don't want to overstep my bounds, okay?
You are always welcome. You are always
All
welcome.
right. All right. Get the information over to me so I can definitely look at it.
I will.
Double check my calendar, but I believe that week, is it a weekend or during the week?
It's during the week. Let me pull it up and I can tell you right now.
Absolutely.
I didn't even think about it. I should have had it up for you guys, but I appreciate your patience.
If you have a flyer, send it over to me, and when I cut the video, I'll make sure I put the flyer in the video so that they can see it.
Perfect. I will do. It's June 20th at 5 p.m. in Woodland Hills.
20th, okay. And what day is that?
That is a Tuesday.
All right, cool.
Okay.
I should be available.
Perfect.
I know the week before that I might be out of town, but I should be available that week. I'll double check.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
first of all, here we go. I appreciate you coming on the show.
thank you.
I appreciate the knowledge that you have and that you convey to all of our clients. I don't think you understand, guys, how special she is. Miss Kenya is, the information and the things that she's doing. She's not just an agent, but now she's in a position of leadership. She understands the real estate market. She understands the client side of it, and she understands the agent side of it. And she's working together to holistically blend these things together.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for an agent, if you're looking for someone to walk you through the process by holding your hand, please do not hesitate. Pick up the phone, email, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do to Miss Kenya Hughes. Kenya, look in the camera and tell the people out there in the interwebs land how to contact you.
Ooh, you can contact me many different ways. So easiest way of getting a hold of me is by phone. My phone number is 732-770-7492. It's a Jersey number for those of you who are going to ask. I am a Jersey girl through and through. The next best way is going to be my email, which is kenya4homes@gmail.com. And my website is Kenya4Homes. So you can contact me on any of those. And then Instagram, Facebook, any of those as well. My handle is Kenya Yvonne _real estate. And that's Kenya spelled like the country, Yvonne, YVONNE _real estate. And those are my handles on all social media platforms.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I appreciate it again. Hold on, don't hang up because we're going to talk offline in a second. But guys, this has been an absolute joy for me. Thank you for joining the Zoom room with Host T.R. McCarthy, presented by Sceptre Mortgage. I want everyone to have an absolute awesome day. TRtheLoanGuy, signing out. Bye.